Zombies and bikinis in a throwback retro-style action game. 3 things everyone loves. So what could go wrong? In the secret archives, almost everything. The character's expressionless blank stare is actually scarier than the insanely bad zombies. It's very reminiscent of Max Payne 1. Then again, maybe the developers didn't think people would be looking at her face. Even at $15, the game just fails. This feels like a playtest and not even close to a finished product. But before we get deeper into this game, this is the 3rd version of this review I have posted. YouTube gave my channel an adult content rating. And of course, I didn't want that. So I edited the video where they wanted it edited. I guess my bikini boss fight just went too far for them. So let's not kid ourselves. Going into this game, the Secret Archives, there is clearly one big selling point. Or in this case, 2 big selling points. But I had that same opinion of the killing antidote until I actually started playing it and I realized how good of a game it was, even considering it's just in its playtest. So I figured, why not give this game a chance? Secret Archives has kind of a throwback classic survival feel to it, navigating endless hallways and room after room after room, searching for keys and other objects to allow you to go further into the game. And as you do that, it does start to become a little bit more fun as you get new weapons and new enemies, but the way you have to navigate the game is pretty frustrating, and there's a lot of like running back and forth and backtracking and really just not an enjoyable environment. The inventory system feels and looks like it's from a 30-year-old PC game. And you cannot adjust the UI or hide the UI, which would be a nice feature for them to add because you really don't need a UI in this game. The costumes are clearly part of the appeal for this game, and they're cute, but they lack detail. It's almost like they just painted the skin. Each outfit gives you a slightly different look at her assets, but it's just that. It's cute. Its environmental graphics are extremely outdated, and the character is very cartoonish. So if you are looking for a sexy dress-up game, pass on this completely. I don't play games for dress-up or skins. I never have, I never will. So I really did come into this saying, hey, I'm going to put that aspect of the game aside and try and see what it's like as an actual survival horror game. If you're looking for a game that has a very classic early days of survival zombie game feel to it, and by that meaning horrible AI zombies, endless rooms that all look the same and not being able to walk past a wheelchair blocking your path, this might be your game. Secret Archives almost resembles fun. Early on, you need to make your shots count and be smart about how you use your knife because it breaks. But as you progress, you won't likely have an ammo or a knife issue. The boss fights are absolutely atrocious and horrible and annoying, and all amount to you running around in a small room while avoiding attacks and pumping hundreds of rounds into the enemy until they die. There's no mechanics to the fight. They're all the same. Even on easy mode, these bosses take so many shots before they drop. I was sure I was doing something wrong and that I must be missing a mechanic. I was not. Just run and shoot and repeat for 200 plus rounds of ammo. The second boss is horrible, since you have no dodge or evade ability until you figure out how to counter his charge, which is very counterintuitive. The fight also involves you taking cover behind a pillar to avoid a rock that he throws at you, and you can find yourself getting pinned between that pillar and the wall and him, and there's no way out of that. And at that point, it's just try again. The third boss fight, the final boss fight, is the exact same fight as the first one, and it's just a reskin of that fight. Regarding the selling point, the boobies. I always assumed her comically large breasts in the videos were the largest setting possible. But in reality, this is her default. The smallest you can make her chest is still like a double D. And at the largest, well, It's just so far over the top, which I get as part of the game's gimmick. I just think they went a little far with it. You can adjust the jiggle of the breasts in the menu. The constant jiggle and huge oversized boobs are funny for about a minute, then it just becomes annoying. The controls also suffer. There's no feeling of momentum. If you've ever played a game like Blood Rain with a mouse and a keyboard, it feels like that, but without any of the dexterity and fast reflexes that Rain has. And there's no controller support for this. Her giant boobs really keep her moving pretty slow even while sprinting, which is not limited to a stamina gauge, so that's one positive thing I have to say about the game. You can sprint as long as you want, but with the sheer size of the levels and the artificially extended content, you really need to sprint the entire game. I would have liked the ability to change the shoulder I'm looking over, as well as a separate button for the flashlight, rather than just being linked to the gun. The biggest issues with the combat is when you aim through something like a handrail or around a door, the bullets just deflect. So there's a major collision detection issue with this game. I would have also liked the ability to remove the constant button prompt to press Q for a stealth kill. As far as stealth goes, yeah, it's bad. This is not a game that you can play and get any value or redemption from its stealth combat. Essentially, you sneak up, you push Q, you move on. And it's the same animation every single time. The graphics look very PlayStation 2, and I'm not a big graphics snob. I think a game can be great with limited graphics. It's the gameplay and the pure mechanics of this game that make it miserable. I suppose there is some potential here if you want that classic and sometimes frustrating experience of the early days of survival horror games. I can't see them really being able to refine this game any further based on how it's built. It kind of is what it is. And for $15, I hate to be overly critical of it and attack someone's game and their project, but the game's key selling point, which, let's just be honest here, is playing Barbie dress-up with a model with giant milkers, is actually just not fun, and that's not even done well. So I can't even say it's worth $15. As I said, maybe $5. But better yet, just skip it and watch the last scene that I'm gonna play for you so you can see how the game ends. I don't normally write reviews on Steam, but I felt like I needed to go out of my way to not recommend this game to people. Don't go into this game expecting anything close to the Killing Antidote or Resident Evil quality. It really just feels like someone's How to Program Games 101 homework project. If you want to play a Barbie Jiggly dress-up game, I'm sure there is a lot better options than this. If you want to play a zombie survival horror game, there are a million options better than this. I'm Undead Aaron. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.